right, let's dive into Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck.
Yeah, real classic.
One you probably had to read in high school.
Oh, for sure. It's on, like, every reading list.
It's about, well...
two migrant workers.
Right, George and Lenny and
their dream.
Yeah, their dream during the Depression.
The American dream, owning their own land.
Exactly. But Lenny, he's
got some issues.
Yeah, which makes things, well, complicated.
And that's what makes the book so interesting.
Yeah, it's not just a simple story.
No, it's layered, you know?
So we start with George and Lenny.
They're on the run.
Yeah, from their last job.
And they end up at this ranch.
In Soledad, California.
Soledad, you know what that means?
I don't, actually.
It means solitude in Spanish.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Steinbeck, he was clever with his names.
Foreshadowing, right.
Yeah, like a hint of what's to come.
And then there's Lenny and his
obsession with soft things.
Yeah, the rabbits, the puppies.
Even that dress back in Weed.
Seems harmless enough, but...
Yeah. But it's not, is it?
No, it kind of foreshadows what happens later.
Tragedy, basically.
Exactly. It's like Steinbeck saying, look out. This is going to be important later. And then the ranch itself, it's like...
a mini society, right?
Yeah, like a snapshot of the Depression.
You've got Curly, the boss's son.
Full of himself, isn't he?
Totally. Always trying to prove something.
And then his wife, she's...
never given a name.
Now that you mention it, yeah.
Steinbeck does that on purpose, you know.
Can you make a point?
Yeah, about how women were seen back then.
Like she's just a possession, not a person.
Exactly. It's really powerful.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
Literature's good for that.
And then there's Slim.
Ah, Slim, he's different.
He's like the moral center of the story.
He sees the good in George and Lenny.
Yeah, which most people don't.
And he understands their dream.
That little farm, the rabbits, living off the land.
That dream is so important to the book.
It represents hope, escape.
But it's also really fragile.
Like a lot of dreams during that time.
Especially for guys like George and Lenny.
And then there's Candy, the old ranch hand.
Yeah, he's scared of being useless.
Worried about being tossed aside.
So he clings to their dream, offers his savings.
That's kind of sad, isn't it?
It is. He just wants to belong somewhere.
Makes you think about aging and what it means.
Definitely. Steinbeck makes you think about a lot of things. It's tough to see, you know?
Yeah, their hope just gets crushed.
Steinbeck, he's a master of that foreshadowing, though.
Like you just know something bad's coming.
Exactly. It's like waiting for that other shoe to drop.
And then boom, it happens.
Lenny, he messes up big time.
Kills Curly's wife.
Accidentally, of course.
But still, it changes everything.
Their dream is over just like that.
And it all feels kind of inevitable, you know?
Yeah, like fate had other plans.
Even the setting, it adds to that feeling.
The heat, the dust, it's almost suffocating.
Like even nature's working against them.
But even with all that darkness, there's still...
that connection between George and Lenny.
Yeah, their friendship, it's complicated.
George takes care of Lenny, but he also loves him.
It's a lot of responsibility, you know.
But he never gives up on him.
It shows how strong their bond is.
And then you have Crooks, the stable buck.
Isolated because of his race.
He's seen some serious prejudice.
And he's bitter about it, understandably.
But for a moment, he connects with their dream too.
Like he sees a possibility of something better.
But it doesn't last.
No, reality sets in pretty quick.
It's a reminder that some dreams are harder to achieve.
Depending on who you are, where you come from.
Of Mice and Men, it's not just a story, is it?
No, it's a commentary on society, on injustice.
And Steinbeck, he doesn't hold back.
He makes you confront the hard truths.
And his writing, it's just so powerful.
The way he describes things, it's vivid.
You can practically feel the dust and the heat.
It's why this book has stuck around for so long.
And then, of course, the ending.
Yeah, that ending.
George killing Lenny. It's heartbreaking.
A mercy killing, but still a tough decision.
You wonder if there was another way?
But in that world, maybe not.
It makes you think about loyalty, responsibility.
The weight of those things, it's heavy.
And Slim comforting George at the end.
The other guys, they just don't get it.
Like they're oblivious to the depth of their friendship.
It highlights the loneliness even more.
That sense of isolation, it permeates the whole book.
Like even when you're with someone, you can still feel alone.
Man, that ending really gets you, huh?
Oh, yeah, it sticks with you.
It makes you think about, like, what's right, what's wrong.
About mercy, about hard choices.
And the American dream, if it's even real.
Right. For some people, maybe it's just out of reach.
Which is, I guess, what makes it good literature.
It doesn't give you easy answers. It makes you question.
But there's still moments of, like, beauty in the book.
Definitely. Like the friendship between George and Lenny.
Even though it ends tragically.
And Slim, he's a good guy, you know.
He tries to understand, to help.
And the title, Of Mice and Men, It comes from a poem.
Right, by Robert Burns. So something about best laid plans,
Yeah, going astray, not working out how you expect.
which is like the whole theme of the book, isn't it?
Dreams getting crushed, things beyond your control.
George and Lenny, they just wanted a simple life.
But Lenny's limitations, Curly's meanness,
And just the way society was back then.
and all conspired against them, basically.
So what do you hope people take away from this book?
That literature can make you feel things, think deeply.
That it can transport you to another time and place.
And that Of Mice and Men is a story that still matters.
Because it's about universal things, you know.
Friendship, loss, what it means to be human.
Well said. It's both sad and hopeful at the same time.
So one last question for the listeners.
Okay, hit us with it.
Is the American dream really possible for everyone?
Or are some people just destined to struggle?
It's something to think about, isn't it?
It's a question that's still relevant today.
Steinbeck, he knew what he was doing.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into Of Mice and Men.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time, keep those conversations going.